right, this is a part 2 of the college football playoff recaps for the semifinals. This game is going to be about Ohio State versus Texas, and just kind of some thoughts I have about the game and the implications of this game. So let's get right into it. So what I have to take from this game is, of course, Ohio State won. I had Ohio State winning, and my main reason for this is, they're just playing fantastic football right now. The offense is clicking. Chip Kelly is calling some fantastic plays, and they're really deciding to be a lot more aggressive in the way they are calling plays, which is why I think they're in the position they are in right now, because they've pretty much done an entire 180 shift ever since that Michigan game. They were playing scared in that game. They didn't look like they wanted it. They didn't look like they wanted to mess up. But now they're going for those deep shots. They're calling the big plays, and they're getting that out of their offense. So I have to give credit to Ohio State for that, because they've really changed their philosophy in kind of a moment where they've been backed up. They've been pretty much backed up into a corner as a program, and man, have they responded. I was just kind of fading the Texas offense. This offense has been mediocre since about really the middle part of the season. I haven't loved what I've been seeing from them, specifically Quinn Ewers, and that struck again last night. I didn't think Ewers had the best game ever. He made a couple good plays, but the strip sack really sucks. You can't turn the ball over there. Now, I can't remember exactly, but I don't know if that guy coming off the edge was unblocked or if the tackle just didn't do a great job, but still, you cannot fumble there. You were about to potentially, I think if I can remember correctly, tie the game up. So that was brutal. It felt like a gut punch. It felt like that was pretty much game, and you really can't do that. So that was brutal for Ewers. And then, of course, he throws a pick on the next drive. Like, it's just a tough one for him, because for him, he's declaring for the NFL draft now. Like, that's been confirmed, and I'm sure a team would realistically pay for him to come back next year. And yes, you want to start your NFL career, but man, if you could get a bag in college, I'd probably stay one more year, because he just does not look NFL ready. Now, I guess the positive for him is there's no way that a team is realistically going to have him as a starter, so he's going to be riding the bench in the NFL, but man, does he need some work. He's just, I don't know. It's just something about him. I just don't love his game. And he just hasn't really had a great year this year. So it is unfortunate for him. But again, Ohio State showed up and they made the plays. And that was really what decided the end of the game. And I will give credit as well to Texas's defense. They've been one of the best in the entire nation all year. I feel like they did a really good job against Ohio State. I was expecting Ohio State to put up probably 28, 35 points strictly on the offense, just because that's how they've been playing these last couple games, but that wasn't the case. And so shout out to Texas's defense, but there really wasn't a ton they could do after, Ewers fumbles there. So it was just credit to them. I thought they played a pretty good game, just for the circumstances that they were given, but it just wasn't enough to give them the win. The main point that I want to talk about in this video that I find so interesting is Ryan Day. Ryan Day, as much as people don't like him, and rightfully so, he was, not, at times I feel like he wasn't great with the media, just the press conferences, losing 4 straight to Michigan, including this year, just getting out physical by them every single year. And again, this is Ohio State. This is a borderline NFL team, just with the money backing them and the fan base. And to lose that game 4 straight times right after Urban leaves, again, getting out physical both in the trenches on both sides these last couple of years, it's really put kind of a sting on his name. But I really feel like he has responded this year as a head coach. Again, his darkest day as an Ohio State Buckeye head coach has had to have been losing that game this year to Michigan. That was terrible, especially at the shoe as well. I didn't know how he was going to come back from that. Some people were trying to say that they should fire him after that game, which obviously wouldn't make sense. They were still in the playoff. But that game would have gotten them to the Big Ten championship. Like, things could have been completely different. But they got backed into a corner. I think they had to really reevaluate what they were doing just overall with everything, but specifically the offense. And it's been a blessing in disguise. Ohio State ended up beating Tennessee. That's right. Yes, they ended up beating Tennessee, and they killed Tennessee, and they also out-physicaled Tennessee. Man, some of the hits that quarterback was taking for Tennessee against that Ohio State defense, they were laying it on him all night. The offense was clicking. They were up 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. So you knew that something had changed a little bit, but the main test for me was against Oregon, and boy, did they respond as a football team. That game was, I think, 34-8 at halftime. They put on a statement for the entire nation. You don't just play Oregon and blow them out like that at halftime in the Rose Bowl. Mind you, this is the best Oregon team I've seen in my lifetime. They didn't lose until this game. They were favorites to win the national championship, and that's really when I felt like the tides was changing a little bit. Yes, some people were still on Ohio State going into that game. I think a lot of people thought it would be a closer game just based off their performance against Tennessee. But at the same time, I don't think anyone was expecting that. Even Vegas had that the spread at 2.5. I mean, they beat him by 21 points or 20 points, I think. So credit to Ryan Day. I think as from a human perspective, the mental fortitude to bounce back in a spot like this where you are backed against the wall, everyone is just absolutely taking a rip on you. You don't know if you're going to have your job after this year, and you respond like this. You get them to the national championship, and you've been playing football like this. I mean, I have to give him credit, and I hate giving Ohio State credit as a Penn State fan, but I have to give him credit. So I think his job is obviously safe. He definitely did a great job coaching this year. Now, yes, they did have arguably the most talented roster in college football. This is what they were projected to do. But just based on the circumstances and how the season went, I have to give him a ton of credit, of course. And we'll see how this thing goes against Notre Dame. It's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. I will make a video on it, so I won't get too in-depth, but I'm definitely leaning Ohio State. One thing that really did shock me, and we'll see how this changes throughout the next week, is the spread opened up at 10. 10 points is a lot. I don't see Ohio State. They could beat him by 10 points, but I think Notre Dame's probably going to keep it a little bit shorter. So we will see. But man, if Ryan Day ends up winning a national championship in this fashion, I mean, this is just absolutely going to be an insane story. He's not going to be able to get hated on anymore. He's done something that hasn't been done since, I think, if he wins this game, since 2015. So we'll see how things go, but it's just going to be completely, I mean, this has already been career changing for him. But if he can really get the whole thing done, I mean, man, is it going to be a big one for him. So I'm curious to see what happens. It should be an interesting one. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like. If you like my type of content, subscribe. I'll put my TikTok up here as well. Also, be on the lookout. I'm realistically going to make an Instagram for this type of content just because TikTok is probably getting banned in the US. I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm going to have to pivot, but that's nothing you guys got to worry about. Regardless, if you enjoy this video, I really appreciate it. Just a quick little recap of the game. Just wanted to get my thoughts out there. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching to this point if you have. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace, guys.